I almost remembered to unmute my mic today before the show started, and then I didn't. So good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's doing fantastic. I just wanted to say hi to Eric here in the chat. He was, hanging out since about 8:30 this morning, waiting on this. Dave P, thank you all. Thank you for being here. We got Paul. Hey, good morning, Paul. Congratulations on getting in on the Meta Exceed private sale. We're going to talk about that a little bit more today. Abbott Grove, good morning. Loading up on Tectum, huh? Tech and AI Tech. Do you know what their partnership is about? Just exposure, or does it have teeth? Abbott, I am a little out of the loop, I guess. I'm not exactly sure which partnership you are talking about. Of course, old Rocky decided she wants to get famous today, so we didn't kick her out of the office, so she's decided to hijack the stream. You want to come over in front of the camera, or you just want to sit off to the side there and disrupt things? Yeah. Oh, there's Rocky. Let's set her down, though, so that we can get back to business. But anyways, folks, it is Wednesday morning, and I am super, super excited. Last night, I was on a Twitter Spaces called Giver's Gain, or their motto is Giver's Gain. The name of the Twitter Spaces is Billy Goat Tales. And this particular Twitter is ran by a group of crypto enthusiasts, crypto experts that really are all about just giving back to the community. Their hashtag Givers Gain basically is, their belief is you go out and you do as much good and you help as many people as you can help with no thoughts to yourself at first. And know that good things are going to come back to you. Kind of like in the Bible, it talks about sowing and reaping. If you're out there sowing into people and you're doing good and you're helping people, good things are going to come back. And they really have that belief system. So one of the cool things about the show last night was that they're able to attract some pretty cool guests. So they had a gentleman named Frankie Candles that came onto the show. I bet you most of you have probably heard of Frankie, but if you haven't, this gentleman is an incredible crypto expert, especially when it comes to the charts and really being able to kind of decipher what is going to happen in the markets in the short term. And then he's also been around this, crypto crazy space for long enough now, 3 cycles. This is his 3rd cycle, that he has a pretty good feeling for, what is happening within the cycle and where we are at within that cycle. And the title of the space last night was, when will Bitcoin hit $100,000? And so you get an opportunity. Let me share my screen here with you folks real fast. Let's get over to Twitter here real quick. Let me change my view. All right, there we go. No, maybe. Oh, I got to add it to the stage. There we go. So for those of you that are on Twitter, I would highly recommend going and checking out Billy Goat Tales here. You can see it's at Billy Goat Tales, all one word. But last night's stream, Bitcoin going to 100K when? I was on there. I did a couple of different segments. It is 2 hours long, so if you don't have time to listen to the whole thing, you definitely don't have to. I'm going to give you, some of the highlights today. But there was just some incredible guest speaker. There's, Rick from Piper Academy, Rice TV, and Crux of Crypto, and just too many. I know I'm going to be forgetting a few, so I apologize for those of you that were on the Twitter Spaces last night and spoke. If I don't remember you, please forgive me. But this was just an incredible Twitter Space, and if you're on Twitter, I would recommend going and following these guys and checking it out. It's every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So I just wanted to give them a little bit of a quick shout out. Like I said, Frankie Candles was on the show. It kind of made me feel good because he messaged me after it was done, I had something to say that I thought was pretty important, and I'm probably going to share some of that with you guys today. But he took the time to message me and tell me, well said, Infinite, and your numbers were indeed correct, because I was talking a little bit about the last cycle and what to expect in this future cycle. So, anyways, with that, let's run over here real quick to some CoinGecko. As you can see here, I've got this TAP XTP pulled up, and the reason for that is my son and I were looking at it, and we actually bought a couple dollars worth of it yesterday, wanted to see if it was available on Uniswap, because when you're looking at the markets, it doesn't show Uniswap on here, but a lot of times tokens are. So I was careful. I copied the contract address here and put it in Uniswap, was able to buy a little bit of this token. But for those of you that are here every week, this was brought up, I believe, by Deadwood last week, and we took a quick look at it, sitting at a little under a $5 million market cap. And the more that I looked at it, the more that I liked it. So there's a lot of things here in in the microcap gem space that are super, super exciting. So let me pop back out here real quick and take another look at the chat. Okay, good. We got the sound. You guys can hear me now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Oh, that's something else. I wanted to have everybody say hi to Mrs. Varnell. So my son had a graduation ceremony to go to this morning for one of his good friends. She was graduating from high school today, and so he took off on me. He didn't think he was going to be able to make it because he knew that he needed to be here. But Mrs. Varnell, my big sweetheart, Deanna, is filling in for him, making sure that I don't make any goofy mistakes, making sure that I'm actually on the screen that I say that I'm going to be on. And so everybody say hi to my beautiful bride. I love it when she gets an opportunity to work together with me. We have a lot of love for each other. We spend a lot of time together, but we have very different interests in some situations. And so we don't actually put as much time working together on things. She's got her projects, I've got my projects. So it's kind of cool when she's actually here hanging out with me and checking out, what I do. So let me ask you guys, are there any tokens that you are excited about? So we've got Abbott, Tectum, TET, and AI Tech. Did you're saying that they created a partnership? So let's take a look at those two tokens here real fast. I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about Meta X Seed, folks, but I'm going to give you guys a little bit of alpha here. AI Tech is one of my favorite tokens for this bull run. I'm really super, super excited about it. It's a token that I have been adding to a lot of my one-on-one clients' portfolios. And so let's go back over here to CoinGecko and pull up AI Tech Solidus here real quick. And see where we're at. This token, so it's sitting at, just under 20 cents. It's got about $113 million market cap. So it's not necessarily a microcap gem. But it is one of my favorite projects. I really like it. I've spent a lot of time looking at it over the last few months. I've been buying it. One of the cool things about Solidus is that you can pick it up, KuCoin, Mexi, Bing, all sorts of exchanges. And then it's also on the Binance Smart Chain. So you can buy it right through your MetaMask on PancakeSwap, which is what I normally do. That or Mexi. But let's see the other token that he was talking about here. Was it TET? TET for Tectum? Let me see here. That's not pulling it up.
What? Money sign first.
Let me see here. It is TET. That should have worked. We shouldn't have to do a money sign when we're doing CoinGecko. There we go. Tectum, TET, down about 5, going on 5.5% today. That's all right. A lot of the markets are up and down. We should have probably taken a closer look at the actual markets. I haven't even looked at the price of Bitcoin today. I know that it was screaming, pretty close to about 70,000 yesterday when we were talking about it. So Tectum sitting here also right at about $100 million market cap, about $14.53 right now. So it's got a lower circulating supply, guys. You can see here it's only got a 10 million token supply. So put that into perspective. Bitcoin has a 21 million token supply. So this has a very, very small supply. It is a token that if it gets some legs and starts being sought after, could go up very, very quickly because there isn't a whole lot of it to go around. And so if you got some diamond hands, some people that are buying this and holding it and that aren't selling it, it's very, the whole supply is out in the marketplace. So, it could be a token that if it gets popular, could go up extremely quickly. It's ranked 468th on the market cap. So that definitely gives it a long ways to run. Let's see its price history. Its all-time high was back in January, $45. So it's got about a 3x in it to get back to its all-time high. Its all-time low was back in October at about $3. So this is one that I would definitely be interested in taking, a little bit closer look at. So let's see where it's available. You can buy it once again, almost anywhere. You can get it on Uniswap. You can get it on MEXC, several different exchanges. So I like that. Let's find out what this Tectum is all about. Let's click on the website. And my computer's running a little slow, but this will load here. There we go. The fastest blockchain for all industries. Tectum is the world's fastest blockchain, a lightning-fast distributed ledger powering the superconductive digital financial environment of the future. Interesting. It looks like they've got, you can stake it. They've got a wallet here, it looks like, where you can hold it. They've got a soft note wallet, instantly transfer and convert crypto. Very, very interesting looking project. Thank you for bringing this to us. The fastest blockchain, the Tectum blockchain exceeds 1 million transactions per second using a proprietary proof of utility consensus. This makes Tectum the perfect solution as an overlay network for numerous blockchain systems such as Bitcoin. Very, very interesting. Crypto solution for businesses. SoftNote is the first ever transactionless product. Yeah, guys, I like what I'm seeing. Is anybody else that's here watching the video familiar with this token? Anybody else buying this?
I haven't commented again.
Its main product is the soft note for Tectum. So I'm assuming, Abbott, that this is one that you are definitely invested in. Is this something that you're already pretty familiar with? Or is this pretty brand new to you and you were just asking for my opinion? Or is this something that you're already invested in pretty heavily? But either way, I definitely appreciate you bringing it to our attention, and definitely we'll take a closer look at this. So, guys, I don't know about the partnership between Solidus and Tectum, but if there is a partnership there, I'm kind of, that's definitely something that would make me curious, and it, might very well be worth picking up a little bit of this token to go along with Solidus. This is as good a time as any to to let you guys know and tell you, as always, that this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. I don't have my securities licenses. I am not licensed to tell you anything financially. This is all just for educational and entertainment purposes. I am just a guy that created some financial freedom in my life through cryptocurrency, and I like to, share with you guys how I did it and what I'm doing to increase it during this current bull market. So let's get back here, and it's been covered by non-crypto mainstream news like Yahoo. Awesome, man. Well, thank you once again for bringing it to our attention. That could definitely be a gem, and we appreciate you bringing it to our attention, and we will definitely continue to take a closer look at that. So something that I normally do, folks, is when you bring up tokens, whether I get an opportunity to talk about them or not, I keep track of the tokens that you guys bring up. And a lot of times when it's late at night and I'm kind of unwinding, I will go to CoinGecko. I'll look up these tokens. I'll look at their websites. I'll look at what you've got. So like last week, we spent a little bit of time on that XTP, the TAP token, but there were 2 or 3 different tokens that we didn't really get a chance to take a close look at it. So even in those cases, a lot of times I will go back and take a closer look at those tokens. And if there's something there that I really like, I will definitely bring it to the table. So back to this Twitter Spaces yesterday. The most exciting thing about that Twitter Spaces, folks, is that people are talking about when is Bitcoin going to hit 100,000, and there's a lot of different opinions on that. But there was a lot of people that I think are pretty intelligent that are saying we're really not that far away. 70,000 to 100,000 is almost a 50% increase. But in crypto, folks, that can happen so quickly. And right now, over the last 2 years, it felt like everything was against us. And now, folks, things are flipping and the world is conspiring to make crypto a massive, massive financial instrument in the world. And even though behind the scenes and sometimes, publicly, it sounds like a lot of the politicians and a lot of the bigger money is against crypto, it's really not that true. We've been seeing it now for 7-8 years where on the news and in front of the cameras, they want to bash Bitcoin and they want to bash crypto, but behind the scenes, they're doing their best to get a hold of it, to accumulate it, to onboard it so that their clients can start getting it. And we're starting to see that happen. There's a very good likelihood that tomorrow we're going to see an ETF get approved for Ethereum. So there's a lot of people that think Ethereum can run up to $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 very quickly. And Bitcoin, most of these guys on the show, and I have a tendency to agree with them, believe that we're going to see $100,000 Bitcoin probably before the end of 2024. Obviously, nobody can predict exactly when, but that's exciting, folks. To think that we're going to finally break through that 6-figure, that elusive $100,000 barrier in the next handful of months, and the life-changing wealth that that's going to create for those of us that got in now and that are diligent, that are doing our research, that are buying the right projects. I mean, it's just a lot of fun to think about. So if you're sitting here watching this today, give yourself a little pat on the back, man, and congratulate yourself for being here in the right place at the right time. I mentioned yesterday on Billy Goat Tales that I believed over the next 6 to 12 months, there was going to be more wealth created than has ever been created in any period of time before in the world. Like the amount of wealth that is going to be created through Bitcoin and Ethereum and the whole cryptocurrency market is going to be unbelievable. We're sitting at, $2.5 trillion market cap. And I think we're going to hit 10 trillion or even more. And a lot of people on the show last night said the same thing, 10 trillion, 11, 12, 15 trillion. Like we've got a long ways to go and a short time to get there now. A lot of the time and effort has already been put in. So you're getting close to the finish line. So definitely do not give up now. Does anybody else out there have any other tokens that they're excited about that they've been looking at? If so, go ahead and and throw something in the comments, folks. I love the super chat. So if anybody wants to really have me do a super deep dive on a token, do me a favor, throw a super chat in there. It is always an honor when you guys shoot me a super chat and show that you really value me, but not totally necessary, folks. So if you've got some tokens, let me know. In the meantime, I do want to go over and share Meta X Seed with you guys one more time. So Meta X Games, MX Games, is a gaming platform that is says make gaming fair for players. We are an evolution from the current generation of Web3 game studios. So one of the problems with gaming, folks, is that there's just not enough people in Web3 yet. So when you have to go and download a game and then you have to create a wallet and you have to start figuring out the cryptocurrency world, you lose 90 to 95, maybe even 99% of the people that play games. So when I was talking to Chapon, the founder and the owner of Meta X Seed, a couple of weeks ago, one of the things that he mentioned is that there's almost 7 billion people playing games between stuff like Candy Crush on their phones and Word with Friends. And then you have, your actual gamers that are playing, Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto and, more longer term, full immersive games. 7 billion people. And the trouble with Web3 gaming right now is that it just is not appealing to 90 to 99% of those people. So what MX Games has done is they've actually they kind of coined it 2.5, Web 2.5. So people that are just in Web 2. So Web 2 is what we're on right now. When you go to your Google Play Store, your Apple Play Store, that's all Web 2. This internet that we're using is Web 2. So all of these 7 billion users are on Web 2 and they're downloading games on their phone all of the time. And so what they did here is they've got one-click onboarding to 30 plus studio games, PC and mobile, invisible Web3, and share up to 60% of the ad revenue with players. And something else that might kind of go over our heads unless we really think about it is it's a single utility token. The XC token will power the entire ecosystem, including the gas fees, and it's going to be the purchase currency for NFTs and nodes and real world assets. So what that means in more layman's terms, folks, is some of the games out there like Axie Infinity, which, by the way, Axie Infinity went to about a $22 billion market cap during the peak of the last bull market. But Axie Infinity has a bunch of games, and a lot of them aren't even theirs. Like, they are owned by somebody else, and Axie Infinity is just renting them, if you will. And they also have a different token for each game. And what that means, folks, is if you reward a bunch of users for a game in a specific token, and then that game loses its steam, it's not popular, it's not going well, you're still kind of stuck, because if you get rid of the game, the people that have earned those rewards are not very happy. The other thing is, if you want to switch up games, like you were enjoying one game, but now you want to move to another game, instead of being able to take the rewards that you earned in the first game and apply them to making the second game funner, you're not able to do that because you have a bunch of different tokens. And so Axie Infinity, as successful as it was during the last bull market, I believe this MXS Games has some huge advantages. So these guys have been building throughout the bear market. I first got introduced to Chapon, the founder and the owner of this project, way back in early 2022. And the product was almost ready to launch. And then we went into this extended bear market. Bitcoin had dropped from 68,000 down to about 40,000. They were still considering launching, and then it went from 40 down to 25. and then from 25 all the way down into the teens. And so instead of launching during that horrible time to launch, especially for a private sale, they just kept building and they kept adding games and they just kept making improvements. They got on Seedify's radar. So Seedify is incubating the Meta X seed, and it's also going to be the launch pad that this launches on here. Hopefully they're looking for a late June launch. But the reason that I'm bringing this up, folks, is that I actually have an opportunity to get in on the private sale. And I know that a lot of you that are watching this today have already jumped into the Discord or the Telegram and filled out the form and sent funds. But we actually, as a community, have an opportunity to get in on this private sale. And folks, I was able to negotiate one of the best rounds with the best vesting. So one of the things that I'm always looking for with a private sale is how much do we get when it launches, and how long does it take for us to get 100% of our tokens? And the answer, folks, is we get 7% at launch. So if it does, roughly a 14x at launch, we can break even on the initial investment, make 100% of our money back. And then we have a 1 month cliff, and then we get the tokens at about 11.5%. It's slightly more. I think it's 11.625% for 8 months. But let's say that this thing launches, call it July 1st. We would get 7% of the tokens July 1st. Then we wouldn't get any tokens on August 1st. And then on September 1st, we would start getting 11% of our tokens in September, October, November, December, January, February, March, and April of 2024 and 2025, which is going to be right during the biggest peak of this bull market. And I believe if this thing takes off, it's launching to a $400,000 market cap, folks. And if it does anything even remotely like Axie Infinity, and we just talked about Axie Infinity, $22 billion market cap. If this thing even just did, $400 million market cap, it would be 100x. So folks, not financial advice, but one of the values that I feel like I bring to my community is these private sales. A lot of influencers out there don't understand them. They're scared of them. They don't know how to evaluate private sales and make good decisions. And then they just, there's not a whole lot of reward for all of the work that's involved. I have to sign the SAFT. I have to collect all the funds. I've got my spreadsheets. I've got to keep track of everything. Then I'm responsible to make sure that you guys get the tokens. So I got to send out the tokens when we get the 7%. And then I got to send out the tokens for 8 months for the 11%. So there's a lot of work involved in it, and a lot of influencers just don't want to mess with it. But I believe that that's one of the ways that I can help you guys create some tremendous wealth. I don't think launch pads and private sales get talked about enough. One of the things that came up on Billy Goat Tales last night, a gentleman named Crux of Crypto took the words right out of my mouth. He said, it's fantastic that Bitcoin is going to go to 100, 150, 200,000. But what does that really mean for you and I? Like, if you don't have hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to invest in Bitcoin, making a 3 or 4x on your money is not going to be life-changing. So he mentioned that he doesn't own any Bitcoin, like zero or very, very little. And I am pretty much in that same boat too, folks. I have a little bit of Bitcoin, but it is not anywhere near one of my biggest holdings. Now, I do believe one of our goals should be to accumulate big money and to slowly get it into Bitcoin to where you have a lot of Bitcoin. But folks, if you're just starting out, if this is your first cycle or even your second cycle, and you don't have financial freedom yet, if you don't have the ability to walk away from your job, be your own boss, call your own shots, then folks, Bitcoin is not going to get you there during this cycle. Now, if you're 35 years old and you're content to just keep plugging along at your job and working, and and do your 9 to 5 until you're 50, 60 years old. Like, you want to buy some Bitcoin and have it turn you into a millionaire in 10, 20, 30 years, then yeah, more power to you. But my goal is to help as many of you create freedom in your lives in the next 6 to 12 months. I know that a lot of you probably won't walk away from your job, even if you end up with $1 million or $2 million in crypto. There's a lot of people that I know that have 401ks through their job that are worth a lot of money, and they just kind of have it trained in their head that, hey, retirement isn't until 60 or 65 or 70. But I'm here to try to break that mold a little bit, folks. Like, I don't think God put us here on this earth to work for 40 or 50 years of our life for another person and then try to enjoy, what they call the golden years. I mean, even in my dad's case, my dad just passed away last year. Gosh, 4 days from now, it's going to be a year that my father passed away. And he lived to pretty ripe old age of 81 years old. And he was relatively healthy right up until the time that he passed away. Like, it was a shock that he passed away. But even making it to 81 years old, he retired when he was probably, in his lower to mid 60s. So that's still, that's not a horrible amount of time. Say he was fully retired by the time he was, say, 65. Actually, he even had a part-time job. He was only working like 20 hours a week, probably even a little bit later in life. But let's say that he retired, 65, 66 years old. That was still only 15 years to really go and travel the world and enjoy his life. And he was one of the ones that kind of got stuck in that middle class, just barely surviving. He was involved in crypto, and I'm still managing his portfolio for my mom. And I believe that during this bull market, I'm going to create a lot of wealth with what he had built up that is going to go to her and help her live out, the rest of her life in as much style as possible. But my point is, folks, like, I'm 50, getting ready to turn 51, and I feel it. Age is a real thing. Like, my mind is still 20 years old. My wife will tell you my mind's still like 12 years old. She always tells everybody she's got 3 kids and I'm the biggest one of them all. But the body doesn't cooperate as much. So I want you guys to be able to take these dream vacations and enjoy this time with your kids and your family when you're 25, 35, 45. You don't got to wait until you're 65 or 75 years old to have freedom and to have funds to be able to go enjoy life. So let's go back over here, get off my soapbox. But last but not least, so folks, I think that one of the mistakes that I made this morning is I never got in and really did the description. My son normally does the description in these videos. So as of right now, I don't believe the link to the Discord or the Telegram is in this video, but I will get it in there very quickly. For those of you that are interested at all in the Meta X Seed private sale, I would recommend going and getting in our Discord group, get into the Telegram. Discord's better. We're phasing out Telegram, but get into our Discord group and check out the one pager on Meta X Seed. Click on the form. All of the details for how to contribute and how it works are right there. You can DM me. I'm happy to hop on a video call with you and answer your questions, verify that it's me, and all of that fun stuff. So if you have any interest, it's a $200 minimum. So that's something else, folks. I used to have $1,000 minimum on these private sales, and it was partially because of all of the work that it takes. I didn't want to have to send 100 people tokens every time I got a distribution. But this is going to be launching on Avalanche, I believe. And so it's going to be extremely cheap fees. So it's going to be easy for me to send the tokens. And so I decided, I did a poll and I saw that probably 80% of my community wanted to invest in private sales, but they only had between 200 and 500 to invest. And so my $1,000 minimum was making my life easier, but it was taking a lot of you folks out of the game. You weren't able to Hey, look at that. Thank goodness for the wifey. She jumped right in, knew exactly what to do. And hopefully you guys can hear me again. And we are back in action. Blame the cat. Yeah. Blame the cat. Rocky. What do we got going on here, folks? Thank you for your patience. I appreciate you guys appreciate your guys' patience. So I was just finishing up talking about the private sale there with the Meta X Seed. Let's see if I can throw this here into the chat. If I copied this, if you guys want to take a look at what the form looks like, that is the form for the private sale that gives you a little bit of an idea. It kind of goes through Meta X Seed, what it is, talks a little bit about it. And while I've got this pulled up, let me give you guys the link to the Discord group too. So for those of you that aren't in the Discord yet, we're doing a lot of special things, a lot of our giveaways. So we give away, as you guys know, anytime a project gives us tokens to to give to our community, we give them all to you guys. And so we have a bunch of token giveaways, and we're slowly moving those over to the Discord. So there we go. So that's the Discord. That link should get you into the Discord. The other link would give you an opportunity to take a closer look at the Meta X Seed private sale. I'm going to be wrapping up that Meta X Seed private sale in the next handful of days. So next 2 or 3 days. So if you've got some funds that you would like to throw at Meta X Seed, get in touch with me, fill out that form, and give it a shot. I need to get back into the Discord. Yeah, man, we would definitely love to have you, Deadwood. I was mentioning that we were taking a closer look at XTP last night, my son and I. And so I appreciate you bringing that to us. I actually bought a little bit of the XPT. And so I do appreciate that. I noticed that Abbott has a few more tokens here that he's looking at. So yeah, cornucopias definitely is something that I've heard a lot of incredible things about. In fact, my wife and my son and I were at a convention probably about a year and a half ago, and we played the game. They had a big booth set up where you could actually like sit down and play the game against like 6 other people, and the people that had the highest scores got t-shirts and stuff like that. So I think I have a t-shirt or 2 from cornucopias in the closet. Pangolin, yeah, I've definitely heard of that also. And so that's another one. Pringles Primo, hey, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you. Let's go take a look at Pringles token here real quick. So let me run over. I got to get CoinGecko added back onto the screen, because when the internet went out and it disconnected me, everything got all cattywampus on me. So let's go back here to that. So Deadwood's got ICL. We'll take a look at that too. I like the ICP ecosystem for sure. So PANG for Pangolin, or PNG. Yeah, there we go. Did I change my view? No, I did not. There we go. I'm catching it quicker now, folks. I didn't add it to the screen either. So there we go. Pangolin. Another one that's right. We ain't got any real low market cap gems so far today. Everything that we're looking at sitting at around $100 million or so, which there's certainly nothing wrong with. It's just a little bit harder to get 100x when you're looking at something that's already at over $100 million. That's why a lot of the tokens that we're looking at on this channel are down at 5 million, 10 million, 25 million. Heck, we've got even a couple that are in the hundreds of thousands. But yes, Pangolin has been around for a while. I've heard about it many times. You can see here it's on the Avalanche network. And if you go down here, it's, all-time high was $18.85. So it's still down, 97%, but it made it through the bull. So that previous all-time high was way back in 2021. All-time low was about 7 months ago. You could have bought this thing for a little over a penny, and now it's all the way back up to, going on 6 cents. So you would have made, 4 or 5 times on your money already. And man, at 58 cents, if it goes all the way back up to anywhere near its previous all-time high, that's going to be some pretty incredible gains. What is that? 20 times 5 is $1. And then multiply that out times, 18. So you're talking about, 18 times 20, like 360x to get back to its all-time high. Is that right? My math anywhere near correct on that, folks? Let me see here. If we take 1885, I like making sure that my math is somewhat correct, that I'm not making an idiot out of myself. So $18.85 divided by a nickel, 0.05. Yeah, 377x if it was sitting at 5 cents, and it's sitting at a little bit closer, to 6 cents than 5, but it's got a long ways to run. And definitely, if I knew that there was going to be a big marketplace for it. You can see here, it's on Gate.io, it's on MEXC, Trader Joe. So Trader Joe is a big DEX for Avalanche, so it can definitely be bought very, very easily. One of the things that I always like to look at is, websites and their following.
Daniel said 50 cents, not 5.
Oh, excuse me. Thank you. Man, why did I see an extra 0 there? Yeah, it is. Okay, so it's almost 60 cents, not 5 cents. So that makes a huge difference. So that means it's only got about what, a 36x in it to get back up to its previous all-time high. 18 divided by 50 is 36. So it's got more like about a 30 to 35x left in it, folks. That's still a nice little chunk, and that still just takes it back up to its previous all-time high. If it does any running past its previous all-time high, it could definitely do better than that. Let's take a quick look at its Twitter account and see, what kind of a community it has. That's huge. It's got 116,000 followers, and now I'm going to be 116 and one, because I'm going to go ahead and follow the project here. Did I switch it? Am I showing the right screen? Yes. Okay, good. So this is its Twitter, over 116,000. One of the things that I do, folks, when I'm looking at somebody's Twitter, though, is I want to see the engagement, because you get a lot of people that, buy Twitter followers that buy engagement. And so if you get down, so engagement is a little low. That's kind of worrisome. Like 6 hours ago, they posted this, and they've only got 125 likes on it with, over 100,000 people on their Twitter. Let's see if they go back slightly further. And, so this post here, only 125, 169. So that's a little tiny red flag for me that I would be a little careful about. I want to make sure that their community is still engaged, and that, and that it's actually still working and growing and creating in this, bull market, and that it's not just a dormant coin. I mean, even if it's dormant, there could definitely be some growth. But other than the engagement being a little bit low, I do like this token. I've heard about it many times. I've heard it talked about by other influencers. So I do appreciate you bringing it to our attention. Let me see here. We've got Deadwood talked about ICL. And then let's see here. I've been seeing those ICP projects starting to move. Yeah, so I was looking yesterday at my ICS, my ICP swap, and it's gone up a little bit recently. I think I mentioned that thanks to Deadwood, I got in on the private sale of ICP swap. That was actually a token that he brought up on one of these Wednesday live streams. So folks, continue to come to these Wednesday live streams, because a lot of times the alpha that is brought by the community is almost more valuable than the alpha that I'm bringing. You guys bring some amazing tokens to our attention. And that's one of the things that I love about the power of the community, man. One guy can only do so much. And I'm a huge believer in, synergy. Like if you take one person, you got one mind. You take two people and they start working together, I believe it's multiplied, and you have the power of four minds. If you take three people, it's exponential. So 3 times 3 is 9 minds, and so on and so forth. So when you get a community of 10, 20, 50, 100 people that are all looking at different tokens and bringing things to everybody and helping everybody out, that's how you can get rich quick, folks. And so I really love this community, and that's another reason to hop into the Discord and be part of this family. So let me see here. ICL. Let's go back over to CoinGecko here and type in ICL and take a quick look at ICL. ICL, Lighthouse DAO. If that is the correct one, Deadwood, let me know. If I'm looking at the wrong one, let me know. It looks like it's the right one. It's on the ICP network, so that lets me know that I'm probably looking at the right thing here. Sitting at a $48 million market cap, so a little bit lower than some of the stuff we've been looking at. Thank you, babe. So yeah, ICL Lighthouse DAO. It is available on ICP Swap and ICD Dex. I think that's something I'm going to have to do a video on, folks. Getting set up on the ICP network is not that hard to do, but it does take a little bit of work. And so when I was buying into the ICP Swap private sale, I kind of had to go through and learn this stuff myself. I had to create I created an internet wallet that is on my browser here because I like to do my stuff on the computer. But for those of you that aren't buying into some of these ICP tokens because you don't know how, I need to come out with a little bit of a video and a tutorial on how to get in there and start doing some of this ICP swap. Because folks, if you go here, let's take a peek at their website. Remind me to go look at ICP before we're done. I don't want to get off the subject here. Let's go look at their website here. So, incubating true Web3 DeFi infrastructure on the internet computer. The ICL Lighthouse DAO has been successfully launched on SNS. Welcome to participate in governance. So this is a project that, just based on the fact that Deadwood has brought it to my attention, I would give it a lot of credence and take a super close look at it, folks. Deadwood is very, very experienced in the crypto markets. He's been around for a while. He's an OG, and everything that he has brought to this channel over the last few months, everything has been stuff that I've looked at and liked the looks of, and I've even bought some of it. So I believe it was Deadwood that brought C-Swap, Chain Swap, to this channel a few weeks ago, maybe a month and a half ago, and I just bought some C-Swap and turned it into part of my $100 or my $1,000 to $100,000 portfolio. I bought $100 worth of C-Swap that Deadwood brought to us. I bought $100 or more than that. I think it was 28, like around $500 worth of the ICS swap in its private sale. And so definitely would take a closer look at this, folks, when you have a minute and have a little bit more time. Take a closer look at this ICL Lighthouse. Let's see what its Twitter looks like, see what its following is doing. So its Twitter account here, folks, has 10,000 followers. I mean, that's not a bad start by any means. That's not a small community. And, just for reference, let's see here, 10,000 followers. The engagement, though, once again, though, this worries me slightly when I see tweets with, well, here's one, that's a little bit older, that's, 6 hours old and has 83. So you can see that, 83 on 10,000 is a heck of a lot better than 100 and 25 or 150 that we were seeing on one of the previous ones with 100,000. Still a little bit lower than I would like to see. But, you know, everything has its moment in time. And I don't think that the ICP narrative has really taken hold yet. And so on that note, let's take a quick look at ICP and give you an idea why Deadwood is looking at this and why we are excited about projects that are on the ICP network. So ICP stands for Internet Computer. Right now it's sitting at about $13. And folks, this might blow your mind if you didn't know it. ICP has been around for a while, and its previous all-time high was over $700. So it's down 98%. I was telling my son yesterday, hey, we ought to just get 100 of these things get 100 of them for $1,300. If it goes back up to its previous all-time high, that turns into a $70,000 bill. And folks, even though it's sitting at, a $6 billion market cap right now, there's a lot of influencers and a lot of very smart people that believe this is going to be a top 5 token by the end of this bull market. So when you're looking at market caps and you're seeing, Bitcoin is sitting at over 1.3 trillion. So if Bitcoin goes up to, 150, 200,000, that's going to turn it into, 270 to 300, or, 2.7 trillion to over $3 trillion market cap. Ethereum, a lot of people believe Ethereum is going to be 10 to 15,000, which takes it, at 30. Holy smokes, Ethereum is up 26% in the last 7 days, folks, flirting with $4,000 Ethereum. I didn't switch my screen. Thank you, babe. I think that's the first time that I didn't switch my screen.
We're still in the IC.
Yeah. So you guys didn't get to see any of the ICP stuff that I was showing a second ago. So I'll run back to that here real quick. But, my point is, if you look at these tokens that are in the top 5, Solana at 81 billion, where right now ICP is sitting at about 6 billion. But you got to remember that when Bitcoin goes to 150,000 and turns into, a $3 trillion plus asset, these tokens here, like everybody believes, or a lot of people believe, including me, that we're going to see $1,000 Solana. Well, that's over a 5x. So 5x takes it all the way up to, $400 billion. And if ICP is going to be in the top 3, that means it could certainly get, say, to 600 billion, which would be 100x from where it is sitting at right now, which 100x at 13 would take it up to about a $1,300 token. So not financial advice, but I am definitely buying ICP and dollar cost averaging in at these prices. Let me show it to you again real fast since I wasn't on the right screen. So ICP Internet Computer, right now it's ranked 24th. So this is definitely not a microcap gem. This is, to me, this is the Microsoft and the Amazons and the Starbucks of the real world financial system. This is one of those. This is a token that's going to be around 25 years from now and going to make people a lot of money if it goes well and does what it's supposed to do. You see the market cap here. So folks, once again, I'm going to do a little bit more recording because I believe it's important for you guys to know how to get involved in the ICP ecosystem. Dave P brought up TIA. Let's take a quick look at TIA. Yeah, so Celestia. So Dave, I'm gonna wrap myself out here. This is a token that launched when I really was in a sense, I was slightly disengaged from crypto. I had some things going on in my life. And so when this airdrop happened, when this launched, I wasn't paying super close attention to the market. And because it rocketed up so fast and became worth in the billions so quickly, I have not done my research on TIA. But folks, what I will tell you,
It's TAI, not TIA.
oh, wait, different, excuse me. TAI. Thank you. See, what would I do without my beautiful bride here? Holy smokes. TAI. So TARS protocol. Hopefully I'm looking at the right one there. Dave, TARS protocol. Let's see if it's on the Solana network. Yeah, it's on the Solana network. So I'm thinking that's the right one. There we go. All right, so we're sitting at about 9 cents and about a $20 million market cap. I like that. That's getting down there low where we're talking about, if you do, what, 100x on a $20 million market cap? What do we got there? 20 million times 100 takes it to 2 billion. So I think there's a lot of top projects that are going to end up in the billions. So you're talking about a token that if it really took off, definitely has the potential to be a 100x. You can buy it right now on Radium, which is the #1 DEX on Solana. You can also get it on one of my favorites, MEXC, Jupiter, Gate.io, Bybit. So I know that Bybit, especially for those of you that are not in the United States and can KYC, that Bybit is a top tier exchange that's really doing good things. So I like the fact that we can buy this in a lot of spots, and one of my favorites for MEXC. So what does the TARS protocol do? Let's see what it says here about this. This doesn't really go into exactly what it does, so maybe we're going to have to go look at the website. So let's do that instead. Let's look over at tars.pro. Switch to that screen. There we go. TARS protocol. Empowering the Web3 leap, AI for all. So I like the fact that it's AI driven. AI is one of the #1 narratives right now. I think that AI is going to be a #1 narrative for a lot of time to come. And, on a slightly different subject, folks, part of the reason to be involved in AI and start figuring it out is because, like it or not, AI is here to stay. And AI is going to replace a lot of jobs. There's going to be millions and millions and millions and millions of people over the next handful of years, the next 5, 10, 15 years, that no longer have jobs because of AI. But to me, that's an exciting opportunity. A lot of people get scared because they're like, oh my goodness, what are all these people that can't work going to do? Well, the cool thing about this participatory economy that is coming is that you're going to have the ability through these tokens, through these airdrops, through these different economies where you can participate in a company and actually get paid by that company. And that's something that we need to talk about a little bit more too. And it's one of the reasons that I'm really super big on my Done For You airdrops platform that I've talked about and that I've done videos on. So, a little shameless plug here real quick, but folks, if you have not looked at my Done For You airdrops video, you definitely want to take a look at it, because one of the ways that you can insulate yourself from these AI companies that are going to take over a lot of jobs is by becoming a part of the I wish I could say that word better, participatory economy, which is basically where these companies reward you for participating in their ecosystem, especially early. And so those are airdrops, folks. A lot of crypto companies are doing massive, massive airdrops because they realize that one of the best ways to get your attention is to give you some free stuff. Like, you go to a grocery store, and have you ever had a free sample where you've gone and gotten some good food, some good meat, some good cheese? And then what do, man? If you like it, you buy it. So they don't give away the free stuff just to be nice. They understand that if they can get you to participate in their platform and to use their services for free, and they give you some tokens, they give you some value, that they're going to create a huge community. And as Peter Gantner from Done For You Airdrop says, community is commerce. The bigger community these projects have, the better that they are going to do. So What do we got here? Empowering the Web3 leap, AI for all. TARS is an AI-driven, scalable Web3 modular infrastructure platform, enabling organizations and individuals to effortlessly transition from Web 2 to Web 3. Interesting. We are constantly innovating and adding new features to empower both organizations and individuals in the Web3 ecosystem, helping them effortlessly transition from Web 2 to Web 3. So that's something huge, folks. A little bit about what I was just talking about. A lot of the world is not ready for Web 3 yet. And so when you've got a project that's going to help people slowly get into the Web 3 space, I definitely like what I'm seeing here. And the other thing about this, folks, I'm not trying to be, play favorites, but if you're brand new to the channel and you bring a token to me, that's fantastic. I love it. I appreciate it. And I'm definitely going to look at it, but I'm always going to take it a little bit with a grain of salt if I don't know you. But Dave has been a community member, and I know that he's very versed in crypto. He's been around for a long time. So when Dave brings a project to the forefront like this, I'm definitely going to take a closer look at it. And so I recommend you all go and look at TARS Pro and just, check out this website a little bit more. And yeah, thank you so much, Dave, for bringing this to our attention. I also really believe that a lot of things on the Solana ecosystem are going to do very, very well. Solana has had some amazing tokens during the first part of this bull run. It's cooled off a little bit, but as Solana goes to $200, $300, $500, $1,000 during this bull run, I think the whole Solana ecosystem is going to be a great place to be. So I definitely recommend taking a closer look at this. Let's swing over to their Twitter account, see how their socials look. Wow, look at that, guys. 259,000 followers. I didn't switch. I think might just be slightly delayed. I think.
Okay.
Thank you, though. I'd much rather have you tell me than not be on it. So here's their Twitter. 260,000 followers, guys. That's huge. Let me see here. Followed by Crypto Attacks, Reveal, and 4 others that I follow. So that's always something else that I do take a quick look at, is how many people that I'm following are following these projects. So it's nice to see that some other people are following the project. 279 on that one, 294 there. So it's definitely getting some engagement. It's getting retweeted and shared out, by 85, 86 people there. So still a little bit lower engagement on 260,000 people, but it still shows me that they are working hard. They've got a lot of stuff going on. And so, yeah, this is definitely a token that I would be very interested in taking a closer look at, folks. Is go back over to CoinGecko. It's got a $20 million market cap with a fully diluted market cap of 92 million. So there's some circulating supply is about 219 million of 1 billion tokens. So we've got only about 20% of the tokens are out in circulation. So I would take a look at the vesting schedule and see when that other 800 million tokens is going to be hitting. Let's take a look at their price action. So we can see here it's a fairly new token. So that's pretty impressive to go to 20 million fairly quickly. You can see here that its all-time low was just on May 5th. Its all-time high was on May 11th. So this is a token that is probably launched fairly recently. And so, yeah, I like everything that I see about this token, Dave, and definitely will take a closer look at it. And we'll probably add a little bit of it to my portfolio. So thank you for bringing that. Deadwood says he is swapping ICS and CSwap. Stopped using Uniswap. So yeah, that's a good point, Deadwood. I need to take a closer look at ChainSwap. So even though I bought some of it, where is the view I want? Here we go. So even though I bought some C-swap, I haven't really used it yet. And so that would be kind of probably a pretty good idea. And let me see if I can find that comment here. So yeah, so Deadwood, been swapping on QuickSwap, ICS, and C-swap, stopped using Uniswap and just holding his ETH. So that's, very, very smart. And I think that's another thing. So ChainSwap gives you the ability to use a lot of different networks. And so ChainSwap is one. Let's, take a fast look at ChainSwap since we're here on the subject. I think that this is one of my favorite tokens that you have brought to me, Deadwood. So let's give everybody a quick peek at ChainSwap here real quick. Pull it up here on CoinGecko. So the ticker is CSwap. And, one of the things that you can see, folks, that's pretty normal is that a lot of these altcoins that we are looking at are in the red. So even though Ethereum and Bitcoin are going up, these altcoins are in the red. And if you've ever wondered why, it's just a simple cash to flow formula. So when money are flowing into Ethereum and Bitcoin, that means it's not flowing into the altcoins. And so what will happen is we'll see these big run-ups in Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then when they start to peak and they then start to slowly come down, people start taking the profits on the Bitcoin and the Ethereum, and they start putting it into these more speculative assets. So don't let it make you nervous that Bitcoin, is up to 70,000, Ethereum is up to 3,700, and yet CSwap is down, 3.5% for the last, 24 hours. If you look at it, it's holding even. It's down 15% for the last 30 days, but that's pretty normal for altcoins. But look at this, folks. It's got a fully diluted market cap of 86 or 90 million, but it's almost all the tokens are in circulation. And let's show you their website so that you get a little bit of an idea of why me and Deadwood are pretty excited about this. So DeFi limits and embrace anonymity, except I didn't say that right, but you guys get my point, man. Embrace anonymousness, which isn't even a word. But you can see here that you can bridge Avalanche, Ethereum, Polygon, Arbitrum, Optimism, Base, BNB chain, breaks down barriers with interoperability without compromising your privacy. So I believe interoperability is huge. There's been a lot of tokens for a long time that are trying to create interoperability, and a few of them are finally starting to get it right. And this interoperability is what's going to take tokens to being worth hundreds and hundreds of billions and trillions of dollars. And the other thing that I love about ChainSwap is that it is backed by Chainlink. And so Chainlink, folks, if you don't know, is going to be one of the biggest tokens moving forward. Like if I was looking at a token that was going to be around for the next 25 years, that was going to be like a Microsoft of tokens, Chainlink is one of my top picks. So we don't talk a whole lot about, the top 10, top 15, top 20 tokens on this channel, even though it's something that I always recommend when you're first getting involved in crypto. Like anything else, you have to build your house on solid foundation. So I never recommend that anybody on this channel just jumps in and starts buying all these crazy speculative tokens, because a lot of these tokens can go to zero. Some of them are going to have massive, massive, massive success, but a lot of these small gems that are at 5 million, 10 million, $500,000 market caps, they're going to go to zero, folks. You're going to lose 100% of your money. But if 1 out of 10 of them does 100x or 150x, you don't care about the 9 that you lost your money on, but you got to have a solid foundation. So ChainSwap is backed by Chainlink, and Chainlink is going to be, in my opinion, a token that is around forever. And I think it's just going to get, we can take a quick peek at Chainlink. At $16, I think Chainlink is definitely a bargain. So if you're looking for something a little bit more solid, a little less risky, You can see here its all-time high was $52. So, I mean, that's only a 3x, but like if you're looking to get like a 10x out of the market, I think Chainlink is a very safe way to do a 10x. It wouldn't surprise me at all if this ends up being $150, $200 token during this next bull market. So thank you again for bringing ICP up. Pringles, do you think the time to convert from ETH to other altcoins is now? Man, that's a great question, Pringle. And that's a hard one to answer. So I'll give you a little bit of I'll give you, what I look at. So my son and I were talking about ICP yesterday. And so as you see here, I just showed you ICP. I think it's a $13 token right now. I think it's got a potential 100x in it. But right now, my son has all of his money already in crypto. So he doesn't have a whole lot of fiat to invest. And so he was looking at what token in his portfolio could he sell to buy some ICP. And so one of the things that we talked about, and one of the lessons that I've learned, not financial advice again, folks, but I've learned that I don't enjoy selling a token to buy another token. Now, what I mean by that, don't get me wrong, if I've got a token in my portfolio that I'm not excited about anymore, that I don't believe in anymore, then I want to get out of that token and put that money into a token that I do believe in. I could still be wrong, but in that case, I don't mind switching. But what I'm talking about is he's got some good tokens in his portfolio that we believe are going to do great things during this bull market. And what I told him was, man, I hate if you sell token A and buy token B, now you're basically dependent on two events happening rather than one. And what I mean by that is now you got to root against token A. Now, let's just say for easy math, you sold token A at $1 and you bought token B at $1. And now 6 months from now, token B is at, $10. So you 10x your money and you should be super, super happy. But you go over and you look at token A and token A is at $20. You feel like you lost, a 10x. You feel like instead of that $1,000 that's now worth $10,000, instead of being happy about that, you're sad that your $1,000 is now would have been worth $20,000 if you'd have just kept it in the same spot. So I'm not a huge proponent of trying to time the market. I'm not a huge proponent of trying to switch assets from one asset to another. Like, do I think that Ethereum, this ETF is a buy the rumor, sell the news event? Within reason, I do think that's possible, kind of like with Bitcoin. A lot of the reason we saw Bitcoin rise up, in fact, one of the only reasons that we saw Bitcoin rise up the way that it did pre-halving was because of the exchange traded fund that was supposedly going to happen, which did happen. But you notice that after that happened, we had about a 20% decline in Bitcoin. In fact, I talked about it back when it happened. I even tweeted about it. Somebody asked me if I thought that Bitcoin was going to go parabolic when the ETF was proved. And I said, no, I believe most of the price action has been priced in. I think within 2 weeks of Bitcoin's ETF being approved, we're going to see anywhere from a 10 to 20% retracement. And we nailed about a 20% retracement, almost dead on. Now, that's not to say Bitcoin recovered from that and has done amazingly well. But that first couple of weeks after the ETF, Bitcoin did retrace. So I would guess, if I had a gun to my head and had to guess, I would say that once the ETF gets all the way approved, that we'll probably see a little bit of a downtrend in Ethereum temporarily. So do you have the time? Do you have the desire to sit in front of your computer and really make those decisions? The other thing, once again, not financial advice. I am not a tax advisor, but if you're selling tokens that you have a profit on and you're selling out of them, you could be creating tax liability for yourself. That definitely takes a big chunk if you're here in America and it's long-term capital gains, you're looking at 15, 20%. So you sell off $100,000 worth of profitable tokens to move them into, out of Ethereum and move them. There's just so much that goes into it. So I'll let you make your own decision, but I will just tell you that it's not something that I do. I am looking for tokens that I believe are going to 25, 50, 100x in the next 6 to 12 months. I'm buying them and I'm holding them. Sometimes I'll take some profits. If I buy a token and all of a sudden at 3, 4, 5, 10x's, I'm definitely going to pull out my initial capital, maybe even a little bit of profit, and let the rest ride. So I'm not against taking some profits occasionally, but for the most part, and that's what we talked a little bit about on that Twitter space last night on Billy Goat Tales, is one of the things that I was telling people is between now and Bitcoin being at 150,000, there's going to be a lot of huge moves. Bitcoin typically retraces 20, 30, 40% multiple times, even during a big bull market. So we just saw Bitcoin peaked out at around 73,000, went all the way down to 58,000. What is that? So 10% is 7, 20% is 14. 14 from 73 is what, 59? Yeah, so we just saw a 20% retracement in Bitcoin when it ran from 73 down to 58. A lot of people let that scare them out of the market, where it wasn't even a blip on my radar screen. It's happened so many times that I don't even pay attention to that stuff anymore. All I did was try to buy some tokens like Aerodrome. The Aerodrome's a token I was talking about at about 80 cents. It went all the way up to $2.85. And then during the last couple of months when Bitcoin was getting smashed off, it went all the way down to about 90 cents again. I never sold any of the Aerodrome that I had bought. And looking back, yeah, do I wish that I would have sold it at 285 and bought it back at 90? Maybe. At the same time, I'm not worried about it. I actually got in it at around 80 to 90 cents. So I was still break even or slightly profitable, but I just used that as an opportunity to buy more. Let me see here. We got, I am expecting the ETF narrative to push things, then a dump. So that's pretty much exactly what I just said. And so I agree. Now, don't get me wrong. In the long term, the ETF for Ethereum is going to be massive for Ethereum and just for crypto in general. I'm going into projects that are building for the future nonstop. ICP, Matic, Link. Amen. I probably don't talk about that enough, folks. There's a lot of tokens right now in the top 15 that have not seen any dramatic rise in price during this bull market, but they will have their day. Matic is going to probably be $10, $15 token. I'm not sure, not financial advice. I could be way off on that. Maybe people are expecting it to be a $20 or $30 token, but in my mind, I'm thinking it could probably see 10 or 15 without too much trouble. Polkadot is one of my favorite investments. It's still sitting pretty close to its all-time low of this cycle. I think its all-time low was $4 or $5. Maybe it's sitting at $7 now. Polkadot is a token that I think a guy can 20x his money on with very, very little risk. So there are a lot of tokens in the top 25 that are worth, putting some money into. So I'm with you, Deadwood. I think that, I think there's nothing wrong with buying ICP, Matic, Link. Those are very safe plays. I think if you want to try to get some 100x's and maybe even get lucky, and hit, 1,000x on a token or two, you're going to have to be a little bit more speculative, but I'm with you on that. Yep. And we already covered that, man. I'm way behind in the chat. Let me see what I got here. Tim G, good afternoon. Just dropping in to say hello. Thank you so much, man. He's got to get back to work. Tim is one of the folks that just invested into the Meta X seed So, folks, if you are connected with him or if you're in the Discord and want to, ask him what he liked about Meta Xseed and why he decided to invest in that private sale, hopefully he doesn't mind me saying something, but he's one of the community members that invested into Meta Xseed and has some of that going on. No worries. I'm just holding all I can. Poor hillbilly trying. Hey, ain't we all? Ain't we all? Tim, thanks, Mr. Brad, for checking sure to make sure my transaction went through the other night with Meta Xseed. Yeah, absolutely, man. And what else do we got going on here? Oh, my mouse is. Anyone else expecting ETH to dump again when we hit 4K? That'll be interesting to see. Chainlink will be the base for banking systems within a few years, I believe. All right. Stacking Arrow, steady as she goes. Same thing with Ondo. I haven't heard of Ondo, so I might have to take a quick note and take a look at that after the stream is over. Folks, we've been on here for about an hour and a half. I don't want to keep you all day. I've got an appointment here in about an hour, and I want to be able to get a little protein in me, get my first meal of the day going. But yeah, Aerodrome is one of my favorites. I was actually looking at it yesterday and figuring out I want to put some money into liquidity. I want to do some farming of the Aerodrome token. They've got some really good liquidity pools, some high yield liquidity pools. And I also think that that'll be something great to do some videos on and to teach you guys how you can make some money while you're waiting for the market to go up. So by providing liquidity in some of these protocols, you got to be careful. You got to be safe. There's a lot of pitfalls. So, for the 100th time, not financial advice, but I have a good friend that put $2,000 into an Aerodrome liquidity pool, $1,000 of Aerodrome and $1,000 of another token. And long story short, he was telling me he's getting anywhere from about 30 to 45 Aerodrome a day. And Aerodrome is sitting at $1 plus a token. So that's $30 to $45 a day that he can just literally claim those rewards, sell them on Aerodrome Finance. It's a DEX, and it literally creating, a $30 to $45 a day income for himself that he can use for life, that he can use for, buying other tokens. So if you're like, man, I've only got a couple $1,000, I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with it, you might want to consider providing some liquidity, doing something like that, because if you get a couple $1,000 into the right pool, you could start taking that $30 or $40 a day and buying other tokens with it, or he gets those rewards in Aerodrome. So if you think Aerodrome, which I believe is going to be $15, $20, $25 token, if you just take those rewards and you just stack that 30 or 40, Aerodrome every day, just imagine that 30. Let's just say that it was 10 Aerodrome, say for the next, what do we got here? We're June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So 7 months. So 7 months times 30 days is 210 days. 210 times 10 is 2,100 Aerodrome that you would have. 2,100 times $20 is $42,000 worth of Aerodrome that you would have. Not to mention, if you bought $1,000 worth of Aerodrome, that would give you about 1,000 Aerodrome, and that's now worth 20. So that would be worth another 20 grand. So you're talking about, a $20,000 investment turning into, a 60 or a $2,000 investment turning into over a $60,000 investment. And so there's a lot of ways that you can play this crypto market, which will go into supposedly my last point. My son always makes fun of me because I say the last thing I'm going to talk about, usually about 5 times, but the last thing that I'm going to talk about maybe is one of the things that's so important, folks, during this opportunity season is you have to get out of the mindset of I can't afford it, or man, I wish I had more money, or man, there's going to be a lot of people in a year from now that are saying woulda, coulda, shoulda. man, I seen Aerodrome. I saw Brad talking about it at 80, 90, $1, and now it's $20, $25. I saw him talking about ICP on May 22nd of 2024 when it was $13. Now it's $1,000 that I didn't buy any. Folks, you got to take action. You got to find a way. You got to be a can do, you know. If I think I can, I can. You got to get your mindset right, and you got to be a problem solver. If you don't have any money to invest in crypto right now, get some. Get a second job. Get a third job. When I was really building my portfolio, my wife did not care how much I worked because I was selling the dream. I was selling her on the beautiful Bahamas vacations that we were going to take. That's one of the most special things. We went to the Bahamas before my dad passed away, had an incredible almost 2-week vacation in the Bahamas. And guess what, folks? We're going back. Now we got it booked December 8th. I'm going back to Exuma, Bahamas. So you sell your family on the dream. You sell them on the freedom and what you're creating right now over the next year. And if you got to eat out a little bit less often, if you got to give up your Starbucks, if you got to sell, you know, some extra stuff, you know, do a garage sale, if you got to turn off your TV, my wife always loves it because I hate TV. I ain't convinced her to get rid of it yet, and I don't think I ever will. But man, I'm telling you folks, if you are not a millionaire yet, you probably are watching more TV than you should be. And it's just a fact. Go ahead, get mad at me. But man, I'm telling you, watching TV is not making you financially free. If you're rooting for your favorite sports team and got to watch every single game they play, and you're not a millionaire, you shouldn't be. You know, like you are cheering for these grown men that are making millions and millions and millions of dollars, and none of them care about you. None of them would even probably say hi to you if you walked past them on the street. And so, folks, where there's a will, there is a way. You can cut back on your streaming services. I mean, like literally, how many of you are paying for Netflix and Paramount and, you know, Peacock and like 10 different streaming services, plus you got cable TV. You're spending $150, $200, $300 a month to be able to watch all these channels. Man, you guys realize that a couple $100 a month knocked off of your bills, invested into the right crypto? It doesn't sound like much, but 200, you know, times 6 is 1,200, times 100 is $100,000. You could be potentially putting an extra $100,000 in your pocket by just freeing up an extra $200-$300 a month, much less if you go get a part-time job and you start putting, you know, a couple, 2, 3, 4, 500 a week into crypto. I don't care if you got to lose a little bit of sleep. You know, I'm just telling you right now, we have a window of opportunity. In a year from now, there's going to be opportunity, but it's not going to be like what you're going to see over the next year. And the fact of the matter is, Bitcoin is eventually going to have another bear cycle. The crypto markets are going to have another bear cycle. So that's the other thing, folks. You're exponentially creating wealth. If you take whatever you have right now and you turn it into something substantial in the next 12 months, when crypto goes back down, you now have a huge amount of money that you can put into it for the next bull cycle. So I'm always talking about the next 12 months, but I also want you to think about the next 5 years. If you don't get it done in the next 12 months, then you're not going to have anywhere near as much money to invest during the next bear market, which means instead of having a $10 million or $100 million portfolio come 2028, 2029, 2030, you're still going to be working on getting your original financial freedom. You're still going to be working for somebody else. Maybe by 28, 29, 30, you finally are able to quit your job. But for those of you that are sitting here watching this right now, there's no reason that you can't be financially free in the next 12 months and then take that financial freedom and over the next 4 or 5 years, turn it into absolute legacy wealth, folks. Do you realize that just a percent of a percent of a percent of the population is ever worth $10 million? And all you got to do is get to be, say, worth $1 million during this bull run. And then you only got to 10x that during the next bull run to get to just a 10 million. That's why when I think a lot of you aren't dreaming big enough, man. If you're not thinking to yourself that in the next 5, 10, 15 years that you're going to be worth 100 million, you ain't dreaming big enough. Anyways, folks, I love you all very much. I appreciate all of you for being here, and thank you, my love. Absolutely. It's so true. I appreciate you. I love you all, guys. You guys are the best. Ondo Finance. Here we go. I knew there's one more thing. Ondo Finance is an institutional grade finance from BR Maker Flux on Link. So, folks, do your own research. I'm going to make a note of that, and we will take a look at Ondo Finance on the next week's video. And with that, man, I love you all. Thank you all for being here, putting up with me for an hour and 45 minutes. Thank you to my sweetheart for putting up with me for the last hour and 45 minutes. And with that, God bless. Have a fantastic rest of your week, and we will see you very soon in the next video.